is the Double Special Master.
Live and direct.
Breakfast with CubCamTV.
Trickstar Radio.
Here we go, people. Just gone 23 minutes past 8 here on Trickstar Radio. That one coming to us from Geordie with Feel right now. But what we're going to do next is jump into a full-length album review. Now, I love doing these sections, and as part of this show, we're going to try and continue with as many full-length album reviews as we possibly can, focusing in on the tracks more specifically and the artists that we are likely to play here on The Breakfast Show. And if you haven't already, if you're looking in on the radio now, make sure you go over to youtube.com/CubCamTV and hit that subscribe button. Vice versa, if you are looking in via the YouTube channel, make sure you go and download that Trickstar Radio app from the App Store and Google Play. It's without a doubt the best way to look into the station, and there's some fantastic shows on the station on a regular basis, so do get locked in via that. So today, obviously Olamide has been on a killer run of releases of late. He seems to have a real ear for a banger, especially when it comes to instrumentation and catchy hook writing. And like whenever I hear a new Olamide tune, I get excited because I know I'm going to find myself singing along within a couple of seconds. It's going to land in my ear and it's just going to stay there. And it's pretty much what he's done again with this new project. It goes by the name of Scuti, and from what we can tell, it's dropped somewhat out of the blue. Like, I didn't see too much of a campaign leading up to it. A couple of singles, but no real push towards the fact there was actually going to be an album. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I can't help but feel this promotional approach may have made the album go over a few people's heads. The first time I actually saw it was at midnight when I was looking through what new music to put into the system. I didn't really see any campaign apart from that. All I saw was the audio uploads direct to YouTube, so maybe a few people will have missed this, which would be unfortunate because it's an absolute corker of an album. We're going to break that down in just a few minutes. On that topic, though, that's exactly why I am so keen to do these album reviews, because it means we can dive into the project as a whole and really give it our technical, analytical style of breakdown that you will have seen if you do follow the YouTube channel, and if you follow this show in general. We like to be quite analytical with our breakdown. So, track one, it goes by the name Need for Speed. This one is a slower, more synth-driven track to kick off the project with some real finesse. It's almost ballad-like in the instrumentation that it uses, and Olamide flexes much more of his emotional side with the vocal performance that he brings on this one. It's topped off with loads of self-harmonizing sort of chorused vocals over the top of a very floaty, pad-driven instrumental structure. It's slowish, but it's a very smooth start to the project, and it's exactly what we like to hear. The party kicks off properly on track 2, however, as Jay Wills gets involved with a track entitled Jailer. We're greeted by 4x4 rolling kick drums and some colourful percussive rhythms alongside those catchy vocal riffs, which are a real theme across the vast majority of this project. The little Latin-style guitar plucks add a lot of colour to what's going on, and it fills out nicely. It's a solid back and forth between both artists involved as well. We love to hear a bit of Call and Respond. We're going to be jumping into that one in just a few minutes' time. Next up, Rock is the name of the next track. It deploys a box of stripped-back sort of percussive elements, and the approach in general is very groovy with the rhythmic design that is used. Dialing in some sort of cheeky chiming melodic twists and some more catchy vocals as well. This is definitely one that I'd recommend checking out, and we have done a full reaction to that one over on the channel. So if you haven't already, subscribe to youtube.com/CubCamTV, and if you haven't already, go and download the Trickstar Radio app. We've got to get those plugs in, mate. Moving forward from here, we jump into Julie, which then uses a pack of instrumentation similar to Bruck Off Your Back, if you've heard that instrumental before. The vocal, obviously, from Conscience. Also, Hold Ya by Egyptian. Those very sort of charming, almost nostalgic sounding piano triplets that work really nicely. Those chords give the track its melodic structure, followed up by moogie bass lines underneath, and the collaborative efforts of Lado on a rough up follow that as we move into the second half of the project. Again, really solid instrumentally so far when we're actually getting through this. Fave then arrives to switch up things entirely, delivering a much more powerful, soulful vocal display on Want Firstly, which deploys a much more halftime style of rhythm. This is another emotive performance from Olamide before Pon Pon, the track we actually heard earlier on during New Music Mondays, sees the pair link up again with a much more bubbly style of creation, perfect for the dance floors and slow winds worldwide. The thing that stands out to me most from this album as we get to this point is that Olamide just sounds so confident in his ability. His understanding of melodic sort of influence within tunes is so strong, and it shines through so strongly strongly on the instrumentation, particularly on this one, especially on Cup of Tea, the next track on the listing, which again takes a tidy, stripped-back approach. For the final two tracks, we see Fino arrive on the synth-heavy sounds of Somebody, which again uses electronic styles and different sorts of sounds of arrangement and design to generate a real dance floor feel. And then this is followed up by the cracking finale as So Much More links together joyous choir-style vocal harmonies with an organic array of percussive grooves to give the album a real sing-along outro. It's a fantastic project overall, and for me, it does demonstrate just how strong Olamide has become as an artist. Obviously, we've all heard Loading alongside Bad Boy Tim's, one of the classic anthems of last year, and it was a tune we were running non-stop here on The Breakfast Show. But for me, breaking down this project as a whole, I'm actually kind of upset that there hasn't been more press towards it. Like, I didn't know this was happening, and I follow Olamide quite closely. I may have missed a few tweets or a few posts here and there, but it definitely felt like it dropped somewhat out of the blue. Rock being the single that landed beforehand. Again, check out our full review of that one. We did give it a glowing review, which you can check out on the channel. Overall, I think there's definitely a case to be made about the album campaign not reaching as many people as expected, is the point that I'm trying to get at. But I do feel this will be an album that Olamide fans worldwide will absolutely cherish, not just for the underground appeal of the album ever. Everyone loves knowing about an album that no one else knows about, you know, that sort of I found it, the finder's fee sort of feeling that you get when you find something that you know not that many other people will have found. But I think realistically it will slowly spread. It's definitely going to be a grower of a project, which is always good to see. And again, really nice use of composition throughout the track listing, and nice collaborations as well. Collaborations that make sense and actually enhance the project as a whole. It doesn't disappoint in the slightest. So there we go. UI Scuti is out now. Go and listen for yourselves and let us know what you think. We are live on the Big Bad Trickstar Radio right about now, running through these live album reviews. If you want to see more of these, please do let us know in the comments down below. We try to do albums that have dropped a couple of days before. I like to be hot off the press with what we do here on the show, rather than reviewing stuff that's come out a couple of months ago. For me, there isn't much excitement in that. I like being very on the new and on the now and what's happening as we go. So, it's just gone 8:30 here on the Big Bad Trickstar Radio. I hope you did enjoy the breakdown. Moving forward, we're going to get into one of the tracks off the album, probably my favourite track off the album apart from Pon Pon and Rock. It goes by the name Jailer, featuring J Wills. I believe this is track 2 or 3 off the top of my head. Can't actually remember, even though we've just done the full review. We're going to get into it now, and then following that, we're going to get into some Ding Dong alongside Stefflon Don with the Mana Star remix. And then, of course, we have got our track of the week on the way. As always, at CubKxvu, at Trickstar Radio on the socials. And if you haven't already, for the third and final time, make sure you are going and downloading the Trickstar Radio app. It's the best place to lock in. You can check out all of the shows, and of course, listen back to all the shows as well, which you can also do on soundcloud.com/Trickstar Radio. So let's get into this one then. Keep it locked and don't go anywhere, my friends. It's just gone 8:30, and this is Breakfast with Kxvu in the building till 10.
This is Breakfast with Kxvu, bringing you them morning flavors on Trickstar Radio.
Trickstar Radio.